Hi guys, welcome back, Eric's UK here. Just a quick vid in response to Tetsubo's post from, I think, yesterday with regards to hit points in role-playing and D&D / Pathfinder in specifically. Personally, I don't have a problem with the whole hit point mechanic. I prefer it over the more realistic systems, because to me the whole point of fantasy role-playing is that it's heroic adventuring, heroic role-playing, and so it doesn't bother me that a fighter might fall off a 120-foot cliff, hit the ground, take 100 points of damage, stand up, brushes the dirt off himself and go, wow, what a doozy. Likewise, I don't mind that a character gets hit by a dragon's claw, which would eviscerate a normal URI, but they just carry on as if it was nothing. And that's because in D&D and Pathfinder, hit points are more of a it's gone blank now out of my head. It's more sort of like a generalisation of health and the ability to absorb damage, that sort of thing. And I think that works for what I want out of fantasy role playing. Pardon me. When you've got a game like Call of Cthulhu or something like that, then I expect the hit point system to be a little bit more on the realistic side. But fantasy role-playing shouldn't be like that, really, to my mind. It's kind of like, I suppose, comparing a historical war drama, medieval drama, with a battle or so forth, to the battles of Lord of the Rings. Because at low levels I expect characters to worry about their health. They could be spudded quite easily by something like a goblin with a spear. But at higher levels I want them to go toe to toe with the Balrog, essentially. I want them to go head to head and with the big red dragon and not worry so much. I want them to be concerned for their character's health, but I don't necessarily want them to be so concerned for their health, if that makes sense. And what I do for hit points in my games is that characters get maximum hit points at first level, and then every time they level they have the choice. They can either take 50% of the dice, so 5 hit points for a D10 or 4 for a D8, etc., or they can roll and take what they get, even if it happens to be a 1 on the dice. And generally what I find is most people will take the roll. They'll take the gamble that they've got a 50-50 chance of getting higher than that. Likewise, as a GM, all my monsters, bar the occasional wandering monster or something which I don't consider a particularly important encounter in the game, will have maximum hit points, whether that's your goblins, your big red dragon at the end of the game, your villains, whatever. All monsters have to have maximum hit points. And the reason I do that is because players only have to worry about their own character. They look at their character sheet and they go, right, I've got this set of stats, this set of abilities, this damage, I'm sorted. Whereas the GM, if you've got multiple creatures, where, let's say for instance you've got a random grouping of levelled orcs, maybe they've got levels in rogue, or maybe more likely levels in fighter or barbarian. Then you've got a group of orc archers on a balcony, you've got an evil warrior of 10th level, you've got a cleric character, you've got a wizard NPC, and these are all your villains that the characters run into. Just as a example, as a GM, you've got to cover all those abilities, and I have to admit myself, I have to stop the game at certain points and look up a spell or look up a special ability and go, right, this is what they're doing, or no, that's not working, and pick something else, because I don't like plotting out what characters and NPCs are going to do. That kind of defeats the purpose, because player characters will always find a way to screw over what you've already planned. And because the GM has to keep track of so many different encounters or characters in a given fight or given encounter or given scenario, I always give them maximum hit points. Not only does it make it easier for the GM, it also means that the characters have a bit more of a challenge. When they run into the big red dragon or the giant king or whatever, it's a challenge. Anyway, before I waffle on too long, that's my thoughts on how I handle handle hit points. Handle hit points in my Pathfinder and 3.5 games. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.